and still are portrayed as terrorists by every successive government of Sri Lanka in the last 60 years. And CAMPAIGE continues to work in solidarity with our communities and campaigns on behalf of our human rights issues closely related to Mulivaikal, to share our story to the international community that we are a victim community who had the right to freedom, equal rights and self-determination. I give you Les Laviday.
Thank you. Thanks to the British Tamil Forum for organizing this annual event, and thanks especially to the dance group for continuing the tradition of Tamil dance, and in this case to depict both the joys of the liberation movement and the horrors of being massacred by the Sri Lankan military. Let's look at what has happened since that massacre in 2009. As all of you will know, the Sri Lankan government has continued to persecute Tamil activists as if they were promoting the LTTE, even though the organization was destroyed in 2009. Why? Well, this clearly shows how the labeling of the LTT as terrorist always served the purpose of terrorizing the Sri Lankan people. And now this terror is being expanded globally to Tamil communities all over the world with the collusion of their host countries. As a Tamil journalist said, the Sri Lankan conflict has become a transnational war against the Tamil diaspora, enabling the continued repression of political aspirations both in Sri Lanka and abroad. In this country, in the last few years, whenever a Tamil group tries to book a venue for a public event, the security agency, MI5, and the Sri Lankan embassy pay close attention to the political content. If the theme is simply human rights and their violation, then okay. But if the theme even hints at aspirations for Tamil Eelam, for an independent Tamil state, then the organizers, the venue receives a phone call, either from MI5 or from the Sri Lankan embassy, or from both, warning the venue that the organizers are terrorist supporters. And then the venue is cancelled, even at short notice. So it has been very difficult to book a venue reliably for holding a meeting that raises the fundamental political issues about Tamil self-determination. Now that's a relatively subtle form of persecution. There are more severe forms which go back to the Terrorism Act 2000. So I would explain that history. This was enacted with the support of all the main political parties in the name of protecting us from terrorism. But if you look at the definition of terrorism, you can see the aims were entirely political and had nothing to do with protecting us or any ordinary people. Terrorism is defined as any action which poses a threat just to public property in pursuit of a political cause. Even that would count as terrorism. And this was used as the basis to ban more than 20 organizations for their activities and in their home countries, but more importantly, for anyone who associates with them here, who carries a symbol of that organization here. The purpose was to undermine ideological and political support for national liberation movements in the repressive regimes allied with the UK government. So they banned the Kurdish Workers' Party in alliance with the Turkish regime. They banned Sikh organizations in alliance with the Indian regime, and so on. I'll just give you some examples about how these anti-terror powers were used since it was enacted in 2000. When